recap of the game. I do really enjoy how we finished. I'm very proud of him for that. That's not always been the case this year or over the years, even when we win games. We give them the ball back by not doing a very good job in 4-minute situations, including that team right there. That last time they were in the stadium, we had the ball with a chance to win. So that was really good to come out after the delay to stop them, when they're in 4-down situations, which is always hard. They made actually 2 4th downs during that drive, and we eventually stopped them and got the ball back and didn't give them the ball. So that was good. Obviously there was run issues. Both sides good and bad. For us offensively, it was really good to have that many yards rushing, and 300-yard rushers is a lot of people doing things right, not just the offensive line, and not very many negative runs at all with, besides Tuni's, 67 carries. The other side, very, very poor job of giving up explosive runs. We've been pretty good at limiting explosive plays. We do plus minus explosive, just like most people do turnovers. We're plus, 40, 46 or 44 or something on the year, which is a very important stat to winning. So we did not do that in the run game on defense. So we need to get better at that. But, it was a good win. Went at home against a program we'd not won against in 6 years. It's always cool to break streaks and continue our home streak. I thought the crowd was really good. Obviously we lost some at the lightning delay, but prior to that, it was good and, created a lot of energy to start the game. And we went up 21-0, 17 minutes into the game or something.
Lane, with how explosive and dominant the running game was on Saturday between the running backs and also Jackson, obviously, you can't expect to get 400 yards and that amount of touchdowns all the time with those guys, but how sustainable do you think, an above average level of production could be with, with that group?
Well, obviously you got to be realistic in any level, but especially the SEC, that's not going to happen. And, whatever they said, that's, I think, the most yards in 10 years or something in SEC versus SEC games. So we've had 2 really explosive run games, in Georgia Tech and in that game. But, we've got to be consistent, run the ball really well. Those numbers aren't going to be like that every week. And, people coach. And so they gear up to stop certain plays once you run them. So it's not like we were just running normal inside zone and making all those yards. There were a lot of schematical perimeter runs and crack blocking and things in there that, people will coach up. You don't get to, just keep running the same plays and they work very long, in my opinion.
When you guys reviewed the film, were you able to pinpoint anything specific that was going wrong with the run defense, or was it kind of just a lot of different things?
I think we started really well. I want to say 4 series in a row to start the game, and and then we jumped out of some gaps and we missed some tackles, and that's usually what goes on in the run game for explosive runs. And we have a lot of people up there, and so when it breaks, they break bad. In what we were doing, because we were up there a lot because of the run and because of the quarterback we were playing. And so the problem with that is when it breaks, there's not a lot of people back there.
LSU's got another quarterback that likes to run. You guys have struggled a little bit against those dual threat guys. What are the challenges you've seen so far about Jaden Daniels?
I thought he played great the other night, running and throwing, and have seen him before. When he was transferring and stuff, just seeing him over time, and very explosive player. And then they seem to have got the receivers going, and really were great on 3rd down and great in general, whenever they were throwing the ball.
You guys have started redshirt freshman tackles the last few weeks. How would you kind of evaluate where those guys are at now?
I think they've done really well. I think last week was a big test, for them. I guess it'd be their third start together, and to play against some really good players. So they did really well and protected the quarterback well and really did good in the run game.
Through 3 SEC games, his first SEC games, how would you kind of evaluate Jackson at this point?
Yeah, I think Jackson's done a really good job, running the system within the system. You don't see a bunch of screwed up plays or formations or, where it looks like he's going the wrong way or the back is. And a lot of that is, him communicating this stuff because of how we run the system and how fast it has to go. So I think he's done a great job with that. The interception was a freak interception. So I think he's done a really good job.
Just your first kind of sustained road trip, back-to-back road games. Just I know you've talked about these road games with this team before. Just are there challenges now, or how do you feel they've kind of handled those two heading into these next two?
Yeah, I think we've played really well on the road. Obviously, this is a different animal, in the first two places that we played, and so no disrespect to those places, but this will be a real atmosphere and crowd noise and for our guys to go into, and with that's a lot of challenges of just staying focused and doing things really well, and it'll be very challenging.
What are your memories of, or does anything stand out about your past matchups against Brian Kelly from those USC Notre Dame days?
Not really. I mean, I think they won both times out in the Coliseum. We won when we went there to play. Both times our backup quarterback was playing when they won, but we had a chance in a goal line where we didn't make 4 plays in a row, and they won the game, and ended up going to the national championship.
Along those lines, just kind of what are your past experiences in Tiger Stadium? Teams have gone there and kind of gotten out of their element a little bit when they've played there. How do you also kind of prevent that a little bit?
I mean, we just got to stay focused and play each play and do your job. And, like you said, a lot of teams have performed not very well there. They've got a great winning record over the years there. Their crowd understands football and is into it as much as any place that you go. So played some really challenging games there.
After going over the film, what would be your assessment of the tight end play on Saturday?
I think Casey did a great job. He played a ton of snaps. I think he played 80 snaps or something, which is too much. But he's a competitor, warrior, had a big block on, the run that broke right before the lightning delay for the touchdown. And was very competitive and was a big part of the game plan, even though the statistics don't show it in catching, but as you saw, a lot of different types of blocks.
Lane, we talk about how successful the running game has been with those two guys this year, and you talked about Jackson's progression through the last couple of weeks, and he's still relatively new. I mean, into his first year here, just getting that gig a few weeks ago. In the event that, the running game was really shut down, like based on whoever you play, if the defense really schemed up for to shut down the running game, how confident would you be in kind of letting Jackson cook back there and slinging it?
Well, I think just 2 games ago that happened a little bit. We were struggling at Vanderbilt, with some run stunts up front and what they were doing, and Jackson threw for 450 yards or something. So we're very confident. Every game's independent. Every game plan is different every week, and I think we're a little unique that way, and you kind of never know what you're going to see when you play us. We don't just run a system. I'm not saying which way is bad or good. I'm just saying we change a lot, obviously year to year, but even week to week. So we just always try to give our players the best chance to win.
And you sent out that tweet a couple nights ago of you in the Tennessee office, and it got a lot of buzz on Twitter. What was kind of the reasoning behind that?
I don't know, I guess in here the other day I say I overthink things. Sometimes I underthink things. There was not a lot. A lot of times people just send me something, and it was the week of that game, and someone sent it kind of as a joke to me, whatever, so I just tweeted it.
I was going to ask, how much of that game did you end up watching? Did you watch any Alabama, Tennessee?
I did. I mean, I sent a tweet, as they were lining up for the field goal. And the guy did jump through to block it, so it was kind of eerie right there. But I did. I didn't, the beginning I didn't catch because we were finishing up here with recruiting and stuff. But, exciting game. And it's just that's football, like a game goes either way, just like we get in those games like Kentucky. And so it's just always kind of funny for me to see fans and everybody, when a game can go either way. One side misses a kick, one makes it, and, the whole world's changed.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you.
All right. Thanks.